Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, this is formula part, basically, that is 105th number part. Here, basically, we are discussing one question basically, what is Bollywood, how Bollywoods are, and Hollywoods are connected with the software industry. So, basically, one more example I will take. Assume that there is one movie launched of one actor, new actor, and new actress, and when the movie was launched, before the movie launched, the lots of human needs basically was created. For example, the vegetable was created from that movie. The This was basically some extraordinary process done by the some energy departments. Basically, they produced popcorns. They produced some samosas. Basically, samosas means the potato was produced, then maida was produced, and lots of things was produced connected with that film basically. So like this basically, whenever the movie was launched in that theater, basically the samosa was given to the theater people, the popcorn was given to the theater people. Like this, from the energy basically they have generated the each and every human needs basically, and that was given to the people basically. So like this basically there are many movies already created, and lots of heroes and heroines and actor and actress basically already has basically got the good name basically. Like this basically each and every things are already done. Like this basically here basically I want to say is that there are set of movies basically in this world basically which human needs are generated long before the movie basically gets launched. So whenever the movie gets launched, before that basically the everything entire human needs are basically already prepared. So that basically you can say it's a special type of human needs, and the special movies basically you can say. uh, for that basically the special things are basically created. So like this basically this type of task also are done by the Bollywood groups, but that basically depends upon the producer demands, producer requirements, which why the this type of thing is producer and director has done in advance basically, and how basically the government has given the approval also. So like this basically lots of things are there basically, because any movie is getting launched and the connected things with that movie, each and every things basically, that basically are approved by the government. Without approval you can't produce a single water also from that movie energy, because to produce the energies, to produce the human needs basically you need the source, right? And source basically are the energy plants, power plants, and the nuclear plants basically, that basically are at the special country places only. So it's a special places basically where these all human needs are basically you can say prepared, and there basically it's a totally restricted area. Nobody can enter that area basically. So basically, like this stuffs are also there in the Bollywood industry. Like this, basically, each and everything are approved by the government. Each and everything are approved by the private government. You can say, which are connected with the direct governments. Basically, you can say. So, like this, each and every movies basically when it gets launched, that connects to set of countries also, because the reason I will tell, each and every Indians basically who are in India, and basically set of groups are in outside India also, right? That type of things are also there. That is basically you can say it's a one chain basically you can say which has generated. For example, in India basically there are peoples, and in US basically there are Indian people are also there. In Europe also Indian people also are there. Like this basically set of visas are issued, and according to the visas basically the Indian gets the visa, and then basically they jump to the country basically. Like this basically the uh, Indian chain gets generated, and Indian chain has also generated lots of in outside India basically you can say. And one more thing, basically, there are lots of religions. Basically, for example, Muslims are there, Christians are there. There basically human clone are also generated. So like that also stuffs are done. And like this basically lot basically why basically it's discussed here basically that's that type of question also will be lots of people might be asking because it's a nowadays each and every chain basically which gets generated that is going to affect to the universe directly. So each and every object chain which is going to generate that basically has checked 100 times, 1,000 times, not only thousands and lakhs of times basically are checked. So that's why basically lots of people say is that whatever things basically, for example, there is one main city in this world. So before the product get launched into this main city, there are basically thousands of cities basically where the product does basically get checked, and then only basically it's get launched in this particular city basically. So this type of things are also there. So basically lots of testing happens of the products as the error basically comes, because without error in this world basically there is no system also, because uh, to if any products get generates there are lots of conditions basically in this world. For example, I will take in software industry basically in one just a crm system basically there are more than 5 lakh to 6 lakh if conditions basically we can say, which is basically by default tracked by the power companies basically. But even the developer basically who has developed this and the project manager who has created the design, they also can't basically track, but the power company says that we can track. Why? Basically if the each and every if condition which is getting loaded in the system basically when it gets runs in the system in the server basically, that time basically if each and every if condition are checked by the physical location basically. For example, if condition is created by 3000 cities, that means in this world yeah, that means in the software industry whatever if condition contains, that all if conditions are there in this city basically. So whenever the this 5 lakh if condition gets load in the system basically, that time basically the if condition chain gets generated in that the cities basically, and then the basically lots of things happens basically. So there are it's a very big industry you can say. Lots of people says that it's a simple if condition, but basically the people who has created the if condition, the real mapping basically if conditions, they can understand what actually the if condition is, and up to the level basically the if condition basically connects to the so basically if anybody says that if any project manager, a project developer, director, project software company owner says that the uh, what is a dream project? So this project can be dream basically. If you are creating the any project into that if condition basically, then basically that can be connect to the your dream project basically you can say. It's by default connects to the dream project basically, but it's very tough basically to connect to the dream project because in this basically whenever the if condition gets load, the 5 lakh if condition has is there in this CRM system basically, right? I just taken as an example 5 lakh CRM 5 lakh condition of the if condition which is taken in the CRM system. That 5 lakh conditions is basically checked by the physical locations basically that are basically 3000 cities which is basically specially created on the base of the if conditions basically. Like this if conditions are there. So like this basically here basically Bollywood groups does not understand the if condition, but they know basically the English word, right? They know, for example, I will take one example. If gender equal to male, if gender equal to female, if country equal to India, if country equal to Poland, if country equal to Italy, if country equal to Singapore. So that is basically if condition. If this condition, then this has to happen, else that has to happen. But this is basically a condition in programming language. But in real language, what or in simple English language, what happens? If you are going to that city, if you are going to that country, if you are getting this message, then basically you are at the correct place. If you are not getting message, then not getting message from that person, then that means that means you are at the wrong place basically. So this type of basically Bollywood people can understand basically. That is basically simple English language basically you can say. So each and every basically you can say sectors basically have their own understanding. If condition, the software industry is understanding in different way, the Bollywood industry is understanding in the different way, the energy departments are understanding the if condition in different way. So each and every industries are there, they are basically understanding their they they created actually the each and everything. Then will basically the basically when if condition was getting created from in 3000 cities basically, that time basically nobody knows that this type of concept can be used, this type of things can be used, and the base was human need creation only. Human need creation was the base. So like this basically 3000 cities basically is created specially for if condition, for loop and while loop. Then basically that was that time basically it was new for the people basically, because nobody knows that if condition basically can be used for the human need creation also. Like this basically the Bollywood group only have created this. Bollywood group basically says that we are basically into city creation. We are basically into the city creation and the user story creation, and the set of user stories are created for the each and every cities. For example, 15 areas are created for the cities for this one city, and then basically the cities has connected with the text box creation. Like this basically which this example I have already taken. So the here basically I want to say is that the Bollywood industry understands each and everything according to their understanding, because their education level is totally different, their systems are totally different, their you can say the unique identification is totally different. Here in software industry basically, if you want to identify one record, then basically the unique ID is there. There basically if you want to identify the particular person, basically there the identification and the system basically they have created. If they will say that I want to recognize this person basically, then basically how I can recognize that without system basically. So their systems are there, their ways are there to create the to identify the person. So like this basically it's a vast industry, and vast industry has created their own human needs also. And first they are checking their human needs and by their own, and then basically they introduce in the market. So basically like this lots of human needs are already created, lots of human needs are getting checked also, lots of human needs are used by the human, and lots of human needs are already used by the people. Like this lots of stuffs are already done basically. Then basically uh, like this basically the Bollywood industries are basically in the Mumbai basically you can say in Maharashtra state basically you can say. So most of basically film studios basically are in the Mumbai and Bombay basically you can say old name basically, and Mumbai is the new name. So like this the Bollywood industry entire creation basically the studios basically are in Mumbai city you can say. So in Mumbai city, basically the creation has done. The writers are there, producers are there, each and every real characters are there, and then the actors are there. Actors are also there. Small characters, roles, people are there. So like this, basically each and every people basically are there, and then basically they are basically. Got one name also, so the name has got famous also. So according to that basically the business also happens. For example, public attracts with the Bollywood industry, glamour industry you can say. If basically anybody says that in near basically this place basically Manoj Vajpayee has came, then basically the thing might be totally different basically. If anybody says that one normal person has came there to do the inauguration of the restaurant basically, then basically very less people will go there basically. But if you say that the Bollywood industry is going there, Bollywood industry is inaugurating the doing the inauguration of the restaurant or any software company basically, then basically that scene is totally different basically. Why? Because the attraction has already happened. The Bollywood human needs they have already created, the energy they have already created, the attraction energy is already created. Each and every things are already created, and according to that, basically the disease also happens. So according to that, basically they have already prepared the lots of medicines, so that is also already given to the people. Like this, basically lots of things are there. So we are going to discuss this Bollywood industry up to what level the task has done, each and everything in this part. This is basically for 105th number, 106th number. We are going to discuss a little bit more about the Bollywood industry.